Hello everyone, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Today I would like to take a little bit of time and elaborate a little bit more on an exercise that we can utilize to better our tattoo lines. I've made a video on this before. If you haven't checked that out, I will leave links up here for you. But in this video, I want to go ahead and take a little bit of time and actually pull some lines with you all in depth. I want to give you all an up-close view as I'm doing it, and I want to explain along the way. What I'm using here is just a simple composition spiral right here, or a composition journal rather. I'm using a pin, as you can see, and I'm using simple adhesive wrap, the same thing that we use while we're tattooing. I put that around the pin to kind of mimic that tattoo feel, so that way it can be a little bit more close to home and translate over a little bit more easily upon actually tattooing. Now, with that being said, let's just dive straight on into this exercise. If you are looking to build more confidence, if you want to just simply better your line work, or if you're at square one and you're just beginning, I highly recommend doing this practice. Now, when I first started, I remember I would literally spend hours before I actually got my hands on a machine doing just this, so that way I get comfortable with moving and with flowing. And sure enough, that ended up showing and reflecting in my tattoo work. So let me actually show you how I would start. I'm actually going to change the angle here. Let me pull a couple of lines. I'll bring you up close at a different angle so that way you can see it more thoroughly here, if you can't see it from up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding the pen the same way I would hold a machine. I'm not holding it as a pen normally. So my finger is touching the base of the paper, and again, I'm going to bring you up close. I'm wearing gloves to kind of mimic the entire feel. I'm putting a dot where I want to start, and I'm putting a dot where I want to end. If you've been with me in my videos, you'll always hear me talking about A and B. I'm always envisioning that A to B to pull a line. So from here, I'm envisioning A to B. Let's go ahead and see what type of line I can pull. If it's wonky, if it's not straight, whatever. So I'm just gonna practice. I'm gonna do this as best as I possibly can. And I'm reaching a point where I am uncomfortable, but I wanna keep going all in one motion. And as you can see, that last part right there where I got uncomfortable in this area, it did go a little bit wobbly, but I'm gonna repeat the process a few more times here. And again, I will change the angle. And I wanna do it in one fluid motion. I'm not really trying to taper in and out on these lines, even though that is something we can practice. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay true to the line as best as possible. As you can see, I am not by any means perfect, and I hope that seeing me mess up right here live on camera provides you with comfort and lets you know that nobody is perfect. However, I do notice that when I slow down, take my time, move at a steady pace, things are much more manageable. And it's these little fundamentals, it's these little elements that we learn doing this practice is what translate well, and it is what goes into the tattooing. It shows within the tattooing that patience, that consistency to make the line as straight as you can. Now I pulled 4 lines. Let me go ahead and bring you up to a different view so that way you can look up close with me here. So here we are up close. Hopefully this angle is good and it doesn't go in and out of focus. So here we are. I'm just gonna try my best to pull a consistent line. Now keep in mind, the rubber is going against the paper, which creates a sort of friction, which makes me have to adjust accordingly. And I'm not sure if you can see the very end that I am over here at, but you can kind of see the line that I did there. So let's see if we can get another good line here to focus in. And what I'm doing along the way is, as you can see, my finger is still touching the base of the paper, just like tattooing, and I'm trying to find a good, comfortable position to pull a nice straight line. As you can see, there's a bunch of hiccups along the way, and that's okay. As you can see though, as we start adjusting, finding our flow and taking our time, you can see as these lines get better and better. So you can really see there that, you know, I'm finding my comfortability. Granted, I do have the phone here and I'm trying to make sure that every line is on camera. I'm not going to use that as an excuse though, as I feel like I can do some pretty solid lines once I find a good flow here. And by all means, feel free to try different positions. You can go this way should you choose to do so. So you can see, being able to see the line where I'm going, as opposed to doing it blind the first time or the other lines, it gives me a lot more stability. So let me explain. As you can see, my hand is now facing this way and I'm pulling the line towards me, as opposed to pulling the line this way with, so basically we have this open to our eye and the line after this point right here on this side is blind. So if I adjust my position to pull the line this way instead of pulling it this way, that makes sense. That makes for all the difference. And I will go ahead and switch the angle and show you all a bit differently here, but allow me to adjust myself accordingly. And let me make sure that I'm on frame for you all. Okay, so here we are. And then I'm going to actually adjust so that way the line is in my sight here. As you can see, our lines are getting much better, much cleaner. And this idea of we can do this over and over and over on paper, as you can see, I'm finding a flow. I'm moving nice and consistently here. And that same rule of thumb, when we're inputting ink with a needle in the machine, is going to apply. That speed and that motion, that is what we're going to learn, and that's matching the hand speed to the voltage. You'll see how much more naturally that feels to you upon practicing this specific exercise that I'm trying to explain in this video. Make sure that I am on frame for you all. Let me pull this last one and then we'll switch the frame here. So now that you can see, as I adjusted these last three lines in that different positioning, these are the straightest three that I've done out of all of the ones that I've done so far. Let me bring you to the top angle so that way I can elaborate on that. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you notice at the beginning, on basically all of these lines from here on up, I pulled the line like this. So here is the point. Everything on this side of the point is blind. So I'm having to guesstimate where the actual line is. So in that awkward direction is already setting myself up to fail to begin with. Now that's something that I didn't obviously point out at the beginning because I was getting to where I was going. So if I'm pulling the line this way, everything beyond the point on this side I can't see because my hand is in direct view of the line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust accordingly this way to my canvas, and then I'm going to pull the lines accordingly as consistent as I possibly can, making the least amount of mistakes, just doing my best to pull an entire line. My goal is to cover the entire blue line by the time I'm done, so that way we see minimal blue without any wobbles there. And as you can see, that right there makes for a much better read. Forgive me there. That right there makes for a much better read and a much better approach on the lines there. Simply adjusting from this way to this way. So let me go ahead and pull a few more with you all up here. And my elbow is floating, but my palm and my finger are still on the paper. Went off a little bit there, and that's fine. And let's go ahead and proceed here. And this one, I'm pulling it with my arm kind of touching the base of the table. I'm trying different techniques to see what feels right to me. So I notice when I have stability on this part of my hand right here, as well as with my arm when I'm pulling long lines, it allows me to pull nice, consistent, straight lines. As you see though, overall though, these lines are reading really straight and consistent. It's not like a one-off type of thing. I found my flow, I found my consistency here. As you can see, I'm getting lines, or good lines, each and every time by simply adjusting from here to here. Let me go ahead and finish out this page with you all. And you can hear that's the pressure that I'm applying, and that's my glove interacting with the paper there. You can see, so when you take this exercise in this context, when you do it in this context and really take your time, like if you're really putting ink into someone's skin, you can really see the whole thing start coming to life here. Let's go ahead and do a few more. And then when you go into tattooing even fake skin, you're gonna notice how much more consistent you'll be. But not only that, the readability of your tattoos, which is basically the quality of your tattoos in my opinion, will read fantastic. Let me actually keep you all up there. You saw me pull some lines going that way. Let me keep you all up there, and we'll just pull some lines together with you all up top. And I want to try to mimic tattoo motions as I would, where I hold down the paper, but be practical to the paper as well. So as you can see though, by adjusting accordingly, you're going to be able to get some nice results. Find your speed and consistency, and just simply pull the lines and keep doing that. I guarantee you, if you did one whole composition book, your line work will be much better when you're done than not doing it at all. There you all have it. Let me see if I can mark. So I think it was from here, because this is where I was talking about the blind spot. So I think it's gonna be from here, this point that I made, on up. So from here on up, this area was done with a blind spot, you know. So once I adjusted to the comfortability, you can see the dramatic difference in my line work. This is one exercise that I can highly recommend. So the idea behind this exercise is to develop muscle memory with holding the machine a certain way while conducting yourself in certain manners. In this instance, I had a blind spot which was causing me to, or was keeping me from pulling a solid line. So therefore I adjusted accordingly, and I was able to overcome that obstacle and pull some really nice, smooth, clean lines. Allow me to bring this up close here to show you, and I would highly recommend this exercise to anyone who is looking to better their line work and or just to stay sharp with it. This is a good exercise overall in general. As you can see there, I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm getting to where I'm going. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'm always going to do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. I also do have social medias all under the same name at Daniel Yuck. That's going to be DanielYuck. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I would truly appreciate the support on there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, as we will be bringing more videos like this. Thank you all for tuning in yet again. You all have a great day.